Baby dolls and baby cakes, we have a special episode today. Rest in peace to Charlie Munger. He passed away at the old age of 99 years. And what's most important is old Charlie boy was able to do this chart. Imagine this is your life. You're born, you leave. Bang. Now, the chart actually goes further than this. This is from 1980. But isn't it glorious? Imagine it's such a fairy tale dream. It's like your life ends at the top of the greenest of green bull candles. This is Berkshire Hathaway. Charlie is the business partner of Warren Buffett. And Charlie is one of the greatest investors of all time. Now, you won't hear that in most crypto people because everybody likes to poop on him. Because everybody says, look, Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold. Bitcoin, it's rat poison. It's interesting because when we hear that, you have this negative emotional reaction. You go, I want my bags to pump. Dude, he was 99 years old. You understand? At 99, your brain isn't very elastic anymore. You're not learning stuff. You're just doing what worked in the past. Everybody gets like this. And so people would misinterpret his messages when he's saying, well, Bitcoin's rat poison. Yeah, maybe the banks are the rats. But there's a lot of wisdom to learn from here. See, friends, if you go through life looking at people from one of their comments and saying, I want nothing to do with them, you're going to end up a very lonely person. You learn nothing. What do you think? I just came into crypto like, oh, golly gee, I know everything. No, I know nothing. I'm a peanut brain. I just applied the greatest investing principles from the giants out there, friends. I'm standing on their shoulders. I do nothing myself. So we can gather a lot of wisdom from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. All right. Now, I actually quote, you don't know this, friends. I quote a lot of Charlie's investing wisdom in my videos. Yes, these videos that you like, subscribe, belly button, and press the bell button and all to, right? I go through a lot of his stuff. I don't say them word for word. I have to translate them to the new age because they don't really apply as much. He's talking about stonks and valuations. It's funny. Now we live in an imaginary Ponzi world with digital units. And I was able to tell you, well, you know what? If the world is going digital and you don't get limits of geographics like you do in companies, well, the products that are being sold, they're different now. It really is a new paradigm. Crypto is a new paradigm. That's why I teach you about Metcalfe's law, network effects, branding. A lot of people say, oh, golly gee, this person said my coin's a scam. I'll go, well, you know what? Who cares? Because they could have said 400 other things that are scams, but they chose my bag. You understand? The game is changing. All right. Now, I morph Charlie's wisdom to applying it to crypto because, stocks and companies and all these other valuation stuff, unfortunately, just doesn't work. Go buy coins with good PEs, PE ratio, price to earnings. You can go do that. You can go to DeFi Llama and you actually do that, friends. You can find coins where you're like, oh, golly gee, which revenue is being made the most from these sectors? Oh, wow, his revenue, wow. Look at this. Look, what better example to show you? What's the number one biggest money maker in crypto? MakerDAO, MKR. It's a sad tale, friends, because Maker, since 2018, Maker is down 69% against Bitcoin. 2,000 days. How are you down 69% against Bitcoin when Bitcoin makes no revenue? The revenue it makes, by the way, is absolutely tiny, nothing compared to what companies and stuff are valued off. Like, how is this possible? Why? Well, you know why? Network effects, man. The market's smart. People think that crypto is everyone's stupid. No, the wisdom of the masses prices these things in. Okay? So a lot of these principles is able to show you, hey, golly gee, go do that. By the way, in the last cycle, friends, your friend Somi here did do that. I had a portion of my portfolio. I said, well, I don't know how people are going to price in things in a bull market. Let me have a sector where I buy the most profitable protocols. And I did. And guess what? They all sucked. They all sucked hairy blue balls. Yes, they were very hairy. They sniffed them too. So there was a lesson there. Okay, you learned that, okay, well, Doge went up 220x and the coins that made revenue didn't. And guess what? They all retraced the same. You got to learn. You got to learn these. That's why you listen to me. That's why you're my friend. Now, another thing I like about Charlie, Charlie went turbo long his whole life. Never went short. Never did any of those. Now, maybe in his private life, he indulged in some put options or any of the dark arts of getting short. Maybe he did. Maybe he got short with his friend Maxwell. Maybe. But for the most part, turbo, giga long. Look, you don't get this chart unless you're bullish. You know what I mean? This is a long chart. You want to talk about a chart that can do things? This is Berkshire Hathaway. Now, he went turbo long his whole life. And you know what's very interesting? Something I admire about Charlie, so many times, friends, you got to remember, the dude's 99. He lived through every single war you can believe, right? He lived through Roswell's UFO crash, World War II. He lived through the Vietnam, the money printing, the inflation of the 70s, the rate hikes, GFC, everything. Bang, 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 bang. And guess what? He's like, yeah, I'm still long. All right. There's a lesson to learn there, isn't there? There's a lesson to learn, okay? He was driving a wooden car. That's how old he was. He still stayed turbo long. Now, interesting to think about this perspective, because if you go through his quotes, I'm going to go through some of his quotes with you, friends. He doesn't speak about bear markets. Do you want to know the only time he's spoken about bear markets? I literally know off by heart. He basically says, markets tend to go down from time to time. That's it. And I'm not joking, friends. His comments on bear markets, it's like 2% of all his wisdom. So he says things like, you need to know the market's going to go down sometimes. If you're not ready for that, you shouldn't own stocks. And it's good when it happens. Now, this is from Peter Lynch, for example. So these famous investors, they don't spend that much time on the paths going down. Now, I don't know if it's just the stock market. It could be that, by the way. I'm just being intellectually honest, friends. Because the stock market goes up 5 to 7 years and it goes down for 1 or 2. But crypto is inverted, all right? We go down for freaking forever. We go down, 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 and then we finally go up. It's this giant burst up. So I don't know. It makes sense, all our character building memes about hodling and going through the winter. It makes sense that we are all conditioned to being destroyed. One thing to learn from Charlie, though, he always looked for great companies with a competitive edge. Now, you know, with Charlie, his best friend, obviously, Warren Buffett. Now, you want to know something? Warren learned off Charlie. Now, at the time of his death, I think Charlie Munger was worth a couple of billion, maybe 1, 2, or 3, or 4 billion. He tapped out. He eventually hit an age where he's like, I can't be bothered anymore. It was probably like 80 years old. So it's probably like 20 years ago. And Warren in that time was able to turn his couple of billion and keep growing into like 80 or 100 billion, whatever Warren's worth today. Huge, right? Because all the compounding happened in the final 30 years. So for the first, it took him like 50 or 60 years to become worth 1 billion. And then the next 20 years just compounded up to like 60, 70 billion for Warren Buffett. Now, interesting though, what did Charlie teach Warren? What did Warren learn of him? Well, you can apply it to crypto, friends. Warren said before Charlie, Warren was basically picking up poop coins. All right. Now, he doesn't call them poop coins. They have different language. Now, what he says is, he calls it cigar puff investing. So what is that? It basically, what Warren used to do is, he used to say, well, I found this company. So for example, I found this altcoin. You go, okay, well, I know it's not the future. And I know it's probably not going to be around in 8 years. But I see fundamentals there. I see people joining. I like the logo. Maybe I like just how it is, right? I like that there's a community there. And he says, well, I don't think these guys are going to be around in 10 years. But I think if Bitcoin is at $80,000 to $100,000, I think people will like this coin at this price I'm in now. So maybe the coin was worth $100. Now it's worth $3. And he's like, well, I can see people buying this up for $30 one day if Bitcoin's at 100K. And that's the type of cigar investing. He says, basically, you're walking down a footpath, you see a cigar on the floor, and you just got one last puff out of it, right? Now, that's what Warren was doing before he really came across Charlie. Okay, now obviously Warren was going to be great no matter what, friends. It's not like Charlie was like, oh, did everything for him. But at the end of the day, he learned of Charlie. He's like, well, let's get out of this poverty mindset of cigar puff investing. Okay, let's think bigger. Let's try to find monumental, the greatest companies that we can find. And that's exactly what he did. So Warren Buffett actually has this quote, and he says, it's better to buy a company for a fair price. So it's better to buy a great company, all right, and pay like a fair price. So basically, it's like saying you're better off buying a blue chip coin in crypto. You want to buy it at minus 98% down, but you can only buy it at minus 80% down. Okay, now that's a huge difference, right? He goes, you're better off buying that blue chip coin compared to buying an ultra degen trash company for a super low price. Okay, so that's, I'm translating here to crypto for you. He's basically saying, like, let's put it bluntly, right? He's basically almost saying, hey, you're better off on average buying a chain link. Yeah, you might only make your 5 to 10x, 12x. You're better off doing that versus trying to buy coins that you might think are going to give you the 50, 100x on average. Remember, it's on average over the long run. Now, remember, you can take one example. Oh, I bought this meme coin. No one cares about you. I'm just telling you, he's talking to a crowd of 1 million plus people, okay? On average, only like 100,000 are going to bink it, all right? Of the 1 million plus people, only 100,000, not even 50,000, okay? 5%. The other 95% going to get crushed. So on average, you're better off riding long-term fundamentals, because with strong long-term fundamentals, the things you're in will probably go further than you think. All right. Now, this is where it comes down to. So, for example, maybe Chainlink, maybe we think, oh, it's going to be $100 in the next couple of years. It's only like a 7x. But maybe it ends up hitting $1,000 by the end of the decade. Just to give you an example, right? Now, I'm not saying go buy Chainlink. I'm just giving you an example of this because we're in such a new industry. It's very tough to navigate these, okay? But you got to look at this guy. You don't get this chart accidentally, okay? They obviously knew what to do. They knew what to look for, okay? And this chart, like, it's a log chart, okay? It's the dream chart. Now, I made this post as well that goes through a lot of his wisdom. I mean, there's a lot of ones here. This is my absolute favorite, friends. So Charlie had a lot of wisdom, okay? And Warren Buffett derived a lot from Turbo Long to becoming a billionaire. And this one is my actual favorite quote, and you'll know why as soon as you read it. He says, a lot of people, let's read this together. A lot of people with high IQs are terrible investors because they've got terrible temperaments. And that is why we say that having a certain kind of temperament is more important than brains. You need to keep raw, irrational emotion under control. You need patience and discipline and an ability to take losses and adversity without going crazy. You need an ability to not be driven crazy by extreme success. So don't worry about the extreme success part. We'll talk about that later on, right? So do you see this, friends? This is where I learned all these. I'm like, wait, man, these dudes are saying you don't actually need to be that super giga Chad with the brain. No, you don't, friends. They send you backwards. Go through my comments, friends, okay? I noticed, okay, people who block me, automatic cucks, you can find in the reply sections, okay? Because I'm just telling everyone, you know what? I don't care about extra views. I don't care about extra follows, but I'm long. All right, that's it. Here I am publicly saying I'm long. Now, I'm not saying you got to buy this or you're going to be poor. I'm not even saying this. I don't really care, okay? Delete this tomorrow. I'll be gone tomorrow, friends. That's why you like, subscribe, bell button on. I love, appreciate you, right? Now, the Soyboys, though, you can find them in the comment section always. So what they'll do is they'll try to put a photo of something you said or someone else said, and they just try to morph everything. But really what's happening is they don't know what's going on. They completely ignore the first piece of information you say, which is long-term view. Long-term view. Literally. I'm holding to December 2025. I'm holding as long as I can. So what they'll do is they'll screenshot this 60-day period. Oh, it went down. These people, they follow the leverage traders on Twitter. And they see their P&L flash screenshot, and they're like, and they wet themselves over it. What they don't know is for every one of those, there's literally 400 million people who got absolutely destroyed, lost. They end up on Coinfesh and Direct. They are the real souls out here, okay? So you need balls. And guess what? I've done this before. I've done this before, friends. This is what people don't get. Do you honestly think in 2020, when I was saying, hey, I'm long these absolute trash glitch Pikachu coin in 2021, all this stuff, do you think people are saying, golly gee, this is going to work out? No, they weren't. They were saying, I like Litecoin because it has a history. They were saying, I like XRP because I can understand payment solutions, and XRP pumped in the last bull market. That's the type of stuff they were saying. And they were freaking wrong, man. They were wrong. Now, I had bullets in all of them, but tiny. Okay, they were wrong. I said e-gold. The guys who owns it, he's French. There's a lot of weirdos who own it. I'll see what happens. Look how much I got out of it. 54x. Okay? You understand? You don't get this by doing some deep analysis and going, golly gee, look at the price to earnings ratio. Can you see this? Otherwise, you end up buying Maker. You get destroyed. Unfortunately, these people, they're the ones who get the most views on Twitter and YouTube because they're the ones, they do some deep analysis and they go, golly gee, here's the answer. No, that's not the answer. The answer is, you got to be a bit of a peanut brain. That's the answer. Yes, the answer is, okay, you call my thing a scam? Well, guess what? I know that you're poor, and I know that you haven't retired, and I know that you don't know what you're doing. So I'm actually going to fade you because I know if I keep fading people like that, I'm going to bink it big time. I might not bink it today or tomorrow, but one day I'll bink it big. I'm just going to keep taking the opposite side of losers. All right. Now that's my approach. I figured this out myself. I'm here to tell you this is what I do. Eventually, it might not work as lucrative as it did in the past, but we'll get to that when we cross that road, friends. So many juicy pieces of information. Look what Charlie also said. The iron rule of nature is you get what you reward for. If you want ants to come, you put sugar on the floor. Golly gee, friends, I wonder if only there was a friend here, if only there was a friend sometimes who talks about meme and scam coins and also is accused of fighting his own bags. I wonder if something's going on here. I can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out. Maybe you can figure it out. Look what he says as well. This is interesting. If something is too hard, we move on to something else. What could be simpler than that? You want to know what's interesting? Retailers do the same too. That's why you got to go for something that's simple. All right. You really do. Okay. Now I can apply these to crypto in many other ways, but you see the point, right? Look at this. In my whole life, I've known no wise people who didn't read all the time. None. You'd be amazed how much Warren reads and how much I read. My children laugh at me. They think I'm a book with a couple of legs sticking out. So you want to make it in this game? That's what you got to do. You read everything and you watch everything, but you're very scarce with your actions. Okay, that's the difference. What do? People read 2 pieces of information and they go do 10 actions. You have to do the opposite. Read a lot, act a little. That's what you got to be doing. That's what I do. My actions all reflect these, okay? Look what he also says. Now, this is going to be interesting in the next bull market. It takes character to sit with all that cash and do nothing. I didn't get top where I am by going after mediocre opportunities, okay? I didn't get to where I am by going after trash opportunities. So this doesn't apply to us right now. Crypto is so deep and cheap. It's like, well, you got to be all in, okay? But that will apply again at one point in the future, okay? So these are the wisdoms of someone who made it. And I've got to remember this, okay? Look at this. He says with life, okay? Life will have terrible blows, horrible blows, unfair blows. Doesn't matter. And some people recover and some others don't. That's why you see us around, friends. You take loss after loss after loss. You get back up. That's what I do. That's the only way you're going to make it, okay? Every mischance in life was an opportunity to learn something, and your duty was not to be submerged in self-pity, but to utilize a terrible blow in a constructive fashion. That is a very good idea. So, look, there's one thing that I've got to go through with these friends. This is probably most important, okay, is this, okay? In crypto, if you see this at the bottom of the screen, friends, he says, look, you don't have a lot of envy. You don't have a lot of resentment. You don't overspend your income. You stay cheerful in spite of your troubles. You deal with reliable people and you do what you're supposed to do. All these simple rules work so well to make your life better. Look, the thing is, people in the stock market world, all right, they are looking at us crypto degens saying, to themselves that if they join us, they are succumbing to greed. They are not sticking to the long, true path. And guess what? Even Charlie Munger says that to them. He says, well, it's rat poison squared. So this is where you need some balls, all right? 3 helps. Because you have to take the opposite side of one of the greats at some point, all right? So for example, a lot of people respect Richard Hart. Well, guess who was bullish on Bitcoin before 10K? I literally said Bitcoin 30K before 10K. I literally said it, okay? So now what people will do is they'll either always go against the greats. I'll tell you, don't do that for sure. Or they'll never go against them. It's a hard game to play because the greats are wrong 1 in every 10 times. And you got to be sure when they're wrong. That's why I believed Charlie was wrong when it came to crypto. I really did believe that, okay? So people in stocks, they're not going to figure it out yet. It's going to be too late. So I'm not even telling you that this game is guaranteed. I'm just telling you, this is the game. How many times I tell you it's a game, friends? It's a game. Sometimes the big boss uses his fire move first and you run out of HP and then you have to spend all your healing at the start. You understand? It's just a game. There's probabilities. We're all here to play the game. All right? I think most importantly, Charlie was always learning. It's pretty much what I do, okay? So you do most of your learning. You don't do too many actions. That's why long-term is the game. Right. How many people have you heard who say, I flipped a 2x into a 2x into 2x, then I signed up for Bybit leverage trading, then I followed this YouTube influencer, and then I went short and I went up and I went long on the way up and oh my gosh, and now I'm a millionaire. I haven't met any other millionaires who speak like that. None. They either fluked a couple of trades or, there's like 30 good traders with 928,000 dead bodies behind them. You see the game, friends. And guess what? The power of the blockchain, you actually see people who just held and who killed it. That's the best part. And they way outnumber everybody else. So in crypto, don't forget, friends, everyone wants to join that hot new poop coin. They're going to rug themselves. We're never going to cave into these soy boy demands. And, remember, some of these principles as well, they're so vague. It's really hard to make too much of everything. You have to have a gift for putting these together, friends. That's why I'm here to do this for you. I'm here to share with you my gift for free. Charge nothing. I literally charge nothing. You know what I love? People, I see messages all the time. They're like, on one hand, I respect what you're saying, but on the other hand, you tell me to sell your bags. Yeah, if you can't handle it, just sell and leave. I don't care. That catches them by surprise because what are other trash subhuman filth telling them? You got to hold your Bitcoins going $100,000 plus. Oh, golly gee, it's not going to diminish returns. You got to hold it. See, I've got so much conviction. I can tell every single person to get out of what I'm in and it's not going to matter. I hope that changes something for you. I'm not the guy who's yelling at everyone, oh, please buy this. Please buy this. I don't care. All right. A lot of wisdom to learn here, friends. I think, most importantly, you can finish on this. Look at this. Without the method of learning, Charlie says, you're like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's just not going to work very well. I want to ask you, what's your method of learning? Now, I'm going to be honest. A lot of you will just say, hey, it's me. Yeah, I watch your YouTube channels to learn. Okay, well, good. You won the lottery. Unfortunately, other people haven't. I guess that's it. Screw them. What are we going to do? We tried to tell them. When are they going to listen? That's why, friends, you learn. I'm here to share with you. I'll tell you, they're going to listen one day. So if I was a stock, I'd go long on myself, 100x leverage. Unfortunately, I know when people are going to listen. They're going to listen when it's too late. And unfortunately, just how I got popular, I'm going to say, hey, guess what? All you guys, how you kind of called me a fraud. Well, it's time to start calling me a fraud because we're going to go down. So this is the game, friends. That's the game. Either play the game or be played. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, all. Rest in peace, Charlie Munger. We're going to continue the legacy, friends. Up only. Catch you soon.